All right, traders. So this is the QQQ on the 30-minute chart, and we're going to be trend surfing up this trend wave, which is the 20-period moving average. And then we're going to hit the beach, and we're going to have to figure out what to do. So this is going to be how to handle the Riptide coming back to the deep water. All right, so this is the wave. It's the 20-period moving average. Each candle is 30 minutes on this chart. Let me move this out of the way. And we are coming up. We're trend surfing up the 20-period moving average. At this point, the market has moved away from the 20-period moving average, so we're going to go bar by bar. I cover this in my course here. If you hit up this QR code, I cover this in detail in my course on how to manage this, how to trend surf. So we're going to go bar by bar with our stop right here. We're going to go bar by bar. As this market has pushed away, we're going bar by bar by bar by bar by bar by bar. Boom, we're getting stopped out. We're getting stopped out. Now, there is a possibility that you wanted to re-enter here as it cleared these reds. It's called a color change. If you were to have entered here, this bar, just to let you know, this bar's low is 708.92. This bar's low is 709. So this bar just barely took you out. Potentially, if you're depending on where you set your stop, this bar would have taken you out and you're out. So this is what we call the beach. So this is where the market starts going sideways. The market starts going sideways, and we don't care about this little bit. This is where the little kids play. This is where the little kids play in the sand. We don't care about that. Other traders care about those little, trying to get the absolute tippy top. It is nice to get it, but we're interested in where this market starts going sideways, penetrates the 20, and this is what we call the Riptide. For anybody who hasn't seen my other videos, this is the Riptide right here. This is the Riptide. So the waves come into the beach. They pull up the energy in the water, and they literally dig a channel, and they push out like a river out back to the deep water. So that's what's happening here. We are at the beach. We are pulling up the water, and it's ripping back through the 20-period moving average. Now, I've said in my other videos, and I talk about this in my training course, in my coaching lessons, which you can pick up in this QR code, we don't take this initial push through the 20. We don't take that. We wait for it to pop back and test the 20. So we're going to talk about two Riptides right now. The first one is this one. It came back, it tested the 20, broke back through, and potentially could have given us an entry signal as it cleared this red, but you can see we are in a declining 20. So I wouldn't take this as an entry signal. And there was no trade here. So this Riptide was a failure. And a failure in the sense that it never gave us an entry. We didn't fail, but we were successful because we know what we're doing. We're following the rules. So we got out at the beach. It tried to Riptide back, and it didn't. It kept going. We're now in a flat period here. We really don't have an entry because we do not trade away from the 20. So as the market is away from the 20, we do not take trades from wide to wider. We take trades as they get near the 20. So as they're near the 20 around this area, we would take a trade. So at this point, we're just going to wait this out. It goes wide again, and that's the end of it. It breaks back through the 20. This is what we've been waiting for. So the market, let's go all the way back here. The market is very wide at this point. This is why we're very careful. The market has pulled back deeply. It's trying again, but the reality is it's very wide here. It's wide and it's wider. We absolutely are not going bull market here. Many traders get caught up in this. And because we are monitoring our 20 and our 200, and I have my coastline analogy saying, hey, we are at the beach. We were at the beach over here, and we're still essentially net, we're going sideways. So we're very wide. We are not in a bull mode here. We are looking for a reversal. The market has been pushing away. As it goes trend bar, pushing away from the 20, we are like, hey, we're almost done. And there's the final beach right there. And we broke back through. So this is the Riptide breaking back through. It comes up, tests the 20, And let's look at this entry right here. So it broke back through. We do not take this, comes back, tests the 20. It doesn't have to touch it, but it tests it. And this is our entry right here. So the market came up, this final green here, this last little green. As the market broke back through, this is our entry. Where is our candle? Our stop is right above our candle. Let's make that in red. And we are in the market. Make this a little flatter there. Okay, we are in the market. Now, we do not get out in the entry zone. What is the entry zone? This is the entry zone right here. We're sitting in the wave. We pop up on a wave, and this surfer is not even remotely interested in jumping off of his board. He wants to jump on his board and surf down the face of the wave and have fun, right? So that's where we are right here. We have just gotten in the wave, and we are going to let, the only thing that's going to get us out of this wave is this stop. We do not exit in the entry zone. We might get exited, but we do not exit. We are there to surf. So we clear all this, goes down the face of the wave, pulls back, and how do we surf this? So how do we manage this? Well, we can bring in our 8-period moving average, and it's called surfing the 8. We do not get out in the entry zone, and now we can start surfing the 8. We can set our stop down here. As we get down near the 8, we are now clear of this entry. We are risk-free at this point, and we start surfing the 8. As this market, this candle, let's say this candle right here touches the 8, whatever is lower on a bear market is what we bring the stop down to. So as we go candle by candle, we are surfing the 8, candle by candle, coming down. Whoop, one there. We're going candle by candle. On the big candles, we're going to bring the market down on the big candles. Whatever is lower, whatever stop is lower is where we're going. I teach all of this in my course. And we are now candle by candle coming down, surfing the 8, candle by candle, surfing the 8. We haven't gotten stopped out yet. Candle by candle. And I think if I'm doing this right, we got stopped out right here. Now, we got stopped out right here, so I'll just leave that there. So we got in here, we got out here. Now, as a percent, if you were to buy the stock, that's a small percentage gain. If you were to buy the option, that would have been a huge win. On a 30-minute chart, a couple of days, maybe one day, day and a half on that trade. Plenty of time to evaluate where you're going. Super easy entry, super easy exit. This is surfing, called trend surfing. Others might call it trend following, but I have a full course and a full analogy where you will know exactly where you are. Are you at the beach? Are you in the Riptide? Are you at the entry? In other words, where are you in this wave energy? Are you sitting in the lineup ready to surf? Are you popping up on a wave at the entry of a trade? Are you surfing down the face of the wave? Are you pulling back to the 20? Are you coming back off the 20 and re-entering this trade? Coming back down that face of that strong move. What are these strong moves? These markets move in strong moves. They pull back, they move strong, they pull back. This is what we're surfing. We're surfing just like a surfer. It's all wave energy, right? So that's what we're doing. We got out of the trade right here. This is the Riptide. We're just surfing the Riptide back. So we surf in two directions. We surf to the beach, which is this way. We surf to the beach on this one. Sorry, I got a phone call coming in. I'll close that one out. Okay. And then we surf to the beach, and then we surf the Riptide back to the deep water. And then if we can, we're gonna surf back to the beach again on the other direction. So we're surfing in both directions. So we got out here on this Riptide, and now we are monitoring. Let's get rid of the 8. Now we're monitoring for where we could potentially get back in. Where is our reentry? We have a parallel 20 and 200. They're not together, but they are parallel now. And we do have an entry here where we've cleared this resistance. We've got clear air. This candle's cleared all of this. This is what we would call a color change. This is a tail bar. This is a gap. This is like 3 entries right here in one. We're going to put our stop here. We're going to enter the market here. So we're already going backward. We're already going the other direction. We could put our entry where we cleared this color, or maybe you want to put your entry where you clear this color just to be safe. This is, why do I call this a color? Let me just explain this. I explain all of this in my course. You're going to learn how to actually trade. So this tail opened here. It went all the way up, came down, and closed here. So you have a green bar that came up to the top of this tail. Let's make this a green bar. Let's make it opacity 100%. So just in this candle, you see this tail here? You had a green bar. And then you also had a red bar next to it. Inside the same candle, you had a red bar. So as this bar cleared this red, that's a color change. So it cleared this color change and it cleared this color change. You're off to the races. Where do you set your stop? You set your stop below the candle. You never lose more than one candle. And you are now trend surfing up this line. You're trend surfing. Look at this. Now, if you don't know how to do this with confidence, if you said, oh, I'm not sure where I would have gotten in. Well, I just told you where you can get in. This is the lineup. This is this narrow state, this parallel 20 in the 200. This is this right here. This is where the surfers are sitting, waiting for these waves. The surfers don't sit here randomly. They sit here because from years of experience, they have learned that at this part of the beach, the waves come through with peak energy and they kick off a wave that they can then surf. They jump on the wave and they surf that wave. That's exactly what's happening here. You are getting in at the initiation of the trend. You are not a momentum trader that's just barely getting the courage to get in up here. Or maybe you get the courage to get in up here. Well, at that point, the market is gonna send you to pain land because you've already hit the beach right here. You've hit the beach right there, and you're going to riptide back to the deep water. So this is how you can trade. This video was originally just about trading, being careful with this riptide and not getting caught here, and how to deal with it. It tested the 20 here, but it didn't come back. So we left that one alone. The market was declining, so we left this one alone. And now we got a new riptide. We don't trade this. We let it come back. We tested. We got this trade. We turned around. The market went parallel. We got this trade. We let it come back up this line. And I mean, it's just money, money, money. So this is the QQQ on the 30-minute chart. If you don't know how to do this, I teach this in my course. And I am there in a live community coaching. I do live coaching sessions 2 times a week. I do market updates. For example, a market update on the Q, on all the major markets, crypto, stocks. I do market updates and I do question and answers. So you need a coach. Michael Jordan had a coach throughout his career. And he actually had 2 coaches. He had Phil Jackson and I think his name was Dan Glover was his coach, his personal trainer. So you are currently, if you'll stick with me for another second here, you are currently in education phase. You are looking on the internet for some education on how to do this better. But what you need to do is you need to get into training phase. That's where you have a coach coaching you and riding you and giving you drills and looking, for example, looking for where this narrow state is, finding hundreds of these until you know it, finding these entry points until you absolutely know it. And then how do you even trade this? How do you ride this like surfing the 8? How do you surf the 20? How do you even do that? Well, you have a coach that trains you how to do that. You do drills. You just go over and over and over again. That gives you the experience to trade your own money, and you're going to get experience, and then that will finally get you the results you're looking for. You're up here in education phase thinking you're going to leapfrog all this and go to results. You need a course and you need a coach to get you the correct education and the coaching to take you through this so that you can approach this with the same level of confidence. I mean, I've been at this for what, few minutes, and I've shown you that I have the confidence to do this. So you need to be able to go in here and say, hey, I could teach this, no problem. I know where the market's going to turn. I know the market's going to give me an opportunity. So if you don't have that kind of confidence, let's get you that confidence. Go to the QR code, enter the community, and let's get going. Let's get training. You need a coach, and you need to go from education phase into training phase, into the experience, and then you're going to get the results that you're looking for. So I look forward to seeing you in the community, and I hope you have a great weekend. Take care, everybody.